Liam Payne, the former One Direction singer, has tragically died after falling from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires. The 31-year-old was found outside the hotel in the Palermo neighborhood of the city, where emergency responders confirmed his death. The devastating news has sent shockwaves through the music industry and across the globe. On the night of the incident, police were called to the hotel after receiving a report of an aggressive man believed to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Hotel staff described hearing a loud noise coming from Payne's room, and by the time authorities arrived, it was too late. He had fallen from the third-floor balcony, landing in the hotel's interior patio. It's unclear exactly what led up to the fall, but reports suggest that Payne had been intoxicated, and the hotel worker had already called for help earlier that evening, fearing the situation might escalate. Payne's death has been met with an outpouring of grief, both from fans and from those who worked closely with him in the music industry. American singer Charlie Puth, who collaborated with Payne, took to Instagram to share his shock, saying, "I am in disbelief right now. Liam was always so kind to me, and he was one of the first major artists I had the honor to work with. I can't believe he's gone." Puth's reaction mirrors what so many others are feeling right now. This is a loss that no one was prepared for. It's hard to believe that someone who was such a big part of pop culture, especially for an entire generation of One Direction fans, is no longer with us. Payne rose to fame as a member of One Direction, one of the biggest boy bands of all time, alongside Harry Styles, Niall Horan, Louis Tomlinson, and Zayn Malik. The group formed on the UK's X Factor back in 2010, and although they didn't win the competition, they went on to become one of the best-selling boy bands in history. With over 70 million records sold and a string of chart-topping hits, One Direction was more than just a boy band. They were a global phenomenon, and Payne was at the heart of it. When the band decided to go on hiatus in 2016, Payne, like his bandmates, pursued a solo career. He released hits like Strip That Down and For You, further establishing himself as a pop star in his own right. But behind the scenes, Payne had been struggling with the pressures of fame. In interviews, he was candid about his battles with mental health and how he used alcohol to cope with the overwhelming stress. He once shared that being in the spotlight from such a young age took a toll on him, and that he often felt like he had lost control of his own life. In recent years, Payne had opened up to his fans about his journey towards sobriety. He posted a deeply personal video on his YouTube channel last year, thanking his fans for supporting him during some of his darkest times. He spoke about reconnecting with his music, his family, and his love for performing. Payne had even mentioned his son, Bear, whom he shares with British TV personality Cheryl, as a major source of motivation in his life. His fans had hoped that Payne was finding a way to balance the pressures of fame with a more grounded personal life. But sadly, that wasn't enough to prevent this tragic ending. On the day of his death, Payne had reportedly posted on Snapchat about his time in Argentina, sharing a video where he seemed happy and relaxed, talking about riding horses, playing polo, and looking forward to getting home to see his dog. There was no indication that anything was wrong. Just days earlier, he had attended a concert by his former bandmate, Niall Horan, in Buenos Aires. Videos from the event show Payne and Horan together, smiling and laughing with fans. It's heartbreaking to think that this would be one of the last times Payne was seen in public. As news of Payne's death spread, fans began gathering outside the Buenos Aires hotel where he had been staying. Some fans hugged each other and cried, while others applauded in his memory. One fan, Yamila Zacharias, spoke about how much Payne and One Direction meant to her growing up. She shared that when the band came to Argentina years ago, she wasn't able to attend the concert because her family didn't have enough money. For her, Payne's music was more than just entertainment. It was a way to feel connected during difficult times. Another fan, Violetta Antier, said that she had seen Payne just 2 weeks ago at Horan's concert. She couldn't believe that someone she had seen so recently, someone who seemed to be doing okay, was now gone. "He was there. I saw him. He was okay," she told reporters. Payne's passing has reignited discussions about the darker side of fame, especially for young stars who rise to global stardom at an early age. One Direction became world famous almost overnight, and for many of the band members, dealing with that kind of fame was a struggle. Payne himself had often talked about the pressures he felt to keep up appearances and to meet the relentless expectations of fans and the industry. Despite the fame and fortune, Payne's life was not without its challenges. In addition to Payne's friends and collaborators, platforms like MTV, the Brit Awards, and Spotify have also shared their condolences. It's clear that Payne's influence on music and pop culture will not be forgotten. From his work with One Direction to his solo career, he has left a lasting legacy. Fans from around the world are mourning not just the loss of a beloved artist, but of a person who meant so much to them during their formative years. As the world grapples with the shock of Payne's death, questions still remain about what exactly happened on that fateful night. While police are investigating the circumstances, it may be some time before we have a complete picture of the events that led to his fall. One thing is certain, Liam Payne's passing has left an indelible mark on the music world, and the impact of his life and work will continue to be felt for years to come. His songs, his smile, and the memories he created for millions of fans will live on. In these tragic moments, we want to hear from you. How did Liam Payne's music touch your life? What memories do you have of One Direction? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to Hollywood Movie News for more updates on this heartbreaking story.